maybe a lot of that frantic, stupid, illogical behavior is because we're so finite. Like we're in a rush that, we realize we only have a certain amount of time to get things done. And so this sort of accentuates the desire to control resources and to cement your immortality and to do these things that people love to do, put their name on buildings. There's a thing that people like to do that it's almost like cementing their immortality. That maybe there'll be less of a desire to do that if people lived way longer. And then you would have to assume if you can engineer humans to live longer, you could probably engineer a lot of stupidity out of us. They could just find out why people behave. Like, what if you could just eliminate lying? What if there's like a genetic solution to lying?
Well, or just a really good lie detector.
Yeah, but I mean, what if you can genetically engineer out the desire to lie?
Well, I mean, if you had a perfect lie detector, there would be no point in lying because people would just see it immediately, right?
Or if you could read each other's minds, it'd be fruitless.
Yeah, and so that might be closer. I mean, who knows what you could do if you sort of had like a powerful AI system trained to detect microexpressions.
We just all have to get the big gray heads with the black eyes, like the aliens have.
Yeah.
Then you can just read each other's minds.
You want one of those?
Well, one of the weirder things that Bob Lazar said, again, I don't know if you're into this UFO stuff, but he was one of the guys that was a whistleblower that said he back-engineered crafts for the United States government in the 1980s. They don't have any controls in these crafts, supposedly, and that they're all powered by the minds of the beings that are running it, and that they have, it's almost like these crafts are alive, and they have some sort of a syncing with the thing, that instead of like pressing buttons and working a joystick, they just sync with this creation, and then they can propel it with their minds. Yeah, so their minds become the computer that moves this thing around.
I'm a bit skeptical. I haven't looked into that, so I don't.
You should be. Sounds crazy.
Yeah.
How could you not be skeptical? Anybody who's not skeptical sounds crazy. But if you think about where we are now and where we're going to be, the possibility of that being our future is pretty likely.
Right. So I think that, like the kind of possibility of engineering something like that with sufficiently advanced technology would be there, like all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Basically everything that doesn't violate some law of physics to a first approximation, you would be able to construct.
And even when we say that, it's like our current understanding of physics. It's not the understanding of physics of a society that's 1 million years older than ours. Because that's a blink in the eye of the time that it took to create what we are at right now from the Big Bang. Like 1 million years is nothing.
But even with our current understanding of what physics permits, that's still an enormous space of designs and types of life and being that you could imagine instantiating. You could have, like a Dyson sphere. You've heard of this concept, right? It's basically like using the output of the sun for energy generation. And you could have you surround the sun by solar panels that then powers a civilization infrastructure, maybe like a computer. Like imagine already we have like AI compute growing at like 240% per year or something, right? But with this, and then like imagine the kind of mind that could run on that sized computer. So people are wondering whether could machines be conscious, and discussing that, right? Right now, I think maybe the more pertinent question is are we really conscious? I think barely. So you're driving on the road for 2.5 hours, a motorist, right? And driving past thousands of people and homes and mothers with their strollers, and then after, does he remember any of that? Was he even really aware of any of this while he was driving? It's like a little diffuse sense of body and some murky perceptions floating through, maybe some confused abstract idea that we don't really understand. That's kind of the consciousness that can fit into this coconut-sized biological organ that we think, and we think, wow, we are so conscious. But imagine this Dyson sphere consciousness,
right?
Or a mind that maybe spans a galaxy. I think the difference between the sort of awareness that it could have and our awareness might be like bigger than the difference between our awareness and like whatever a flea has or something like that, way
Yeah.
bigger. So it could be this like transition where we develop super intelligent minds that for the first time is really life waking up and becoming truly aware.
Yeah.
And that we are a little bit sort of over proud in our own specialness when we think that like we have achieved something close to the maximum level of that we are the standard by which consciousness should be measured, and we are this kind of feeble, confused, murky glimmer that is barely sentient at all. So that's like, I think, maybe the big challenge for our era, like giving birth to superintelligence and then hopefully shaping and nurturing it and steering it so that it becomes a positive thing, both for us, ourselves, and also for it itself, and also for whatever other, if there are other super beings somewhere in the world or in the cosmos, that it sort of is able to get along with us and contribute positively at the cosmic scale. And that's a very multifaceted challenge, but I think that's kind of seems to be what's going on.
Yeah, and it's hard for people to think that far ahead. You know, you just think of intelligence being something superior to what we currently experience. But when you're talking about a computer or a being, a conscious being that is infinitely more powerful than anything we can imagine, that seems to be what, if everything keeps going in the same general direction and AI increases its power and we figure out new ways to power it, and then, because one of the things that AI needs that's so interesting is it needs enormous amounts of power. And so just these AI centers that they're developing now, they're like Google's doing one where they're developing their own nuclear power. Do you want some coffee?
Is there?
Yeah, right here.
It's got a little.
I saw you reaching for your cup.
Oh, yeah.
You shouldn't be drinking out of paper cups anyway, man.
I don't usually do that. But
So I know I don't either, but occasionally I do. But they're so bad for you.
I'm usually quite conscientious with, like,
Yeah.
I'm becoming a little bit obsessed.
Even when I
with
go on
it.
the road, I've started taking a little Yeti coffee cup with me, so I could buy coffee and just have them put it in that. The inside of those things is just lined with plastic. You're pouring hot water into plastic, and then the plastic leaches into your coffee.
I don't do that normally, but I figured like for having a chat with you on the Joe Rogan show, it would be worth like I guess some 100 microplastics.
Well, thank you. I think what we're talking about is inevitable if human beings don't blow ourselves up. If we don't get hit with an asteroid, blow ourselves up, or a super volcano doesn't eradicate civilization, all this stuff it's inevitable. It's how much time does it take, and how much does it grow exponentially in power? Because we're talking about computers, then they start bringing up quantum computing and quantum computers' ability to do calculations, and it doesn't even make sense. And so you think, like, well, this is just one version of that. Like, what is a quantum computing going to look like 500 years from now? Like, what is computing power, which is connected to AI? What is that going to look like 500 years from now? It's impossible to even guess.
Well, we can sort of see lower bounds on what's possible, like thinking already of just the designs we can conceive of that
Right.
we see in principle you could make. Maybe it'll take a lot of grind to get there, but at least that establishes like a lower bound of what a technologically mature civilization could do, and then maybe they have additional ideas beyond that. But already that is enough to really unlock